Boa tarde, pessoal. Antes de mais nada, eu quero pedir perdão por nossa breve inconveniência no momento. Nós tivemos o nosso palestrante, teve alguns problemas técnicos em questão do trabalho dele e teve que esperar um pouquinho. Teve que resolver um pequeno problema brevemente. Mas já está disponível e nós vamos começar agora. Antes de mais nada, eu quero avisar, assim, quero me apresentar o contexto. No caso, esse é um meetup organizado pelo Brasília Elastic User Group. Nós somos um grupo aqui do Distrito Federal sobre Elasticsearch, sobre a stack inteira, Logstash, Kibana, a gente fala sobre tudo. E nós estamos normalmente fazendo os meetups locais, fazendo os meetups aqui. Só que no momento de pandemia não é possível, então estamos fazendo meetups online. E aproveitamos esse contexto para trazer algumas pessoas mais distantes. Nesse caso, hoje, quem vai falar para nós é Manuel de la Peña. Ele é engenheiro sênior na Elastic, ele trabalha no time de Observability, de observabilidade da Elastic Cloud, que é responsável por manter a qualidade. Eu não sou especialista em observabilidade, para ser honesto, mas eu sei que é um tema super interessante que eu estou tentando aprender, estou estudando muito e tentando pegar o contexto, e acredito que muitos de vocês vão estar bem interessados também. Ele vai falar um pouco de como a própria Elastic, a Elastic Cloud, né, a empresa cloud da Elastic, usa a stack LK, a stack Elastic, para gerenciar suítes de teste, para controlar os testes que eles têm e os resultados. Nesse ponto, eu acho um ponto bem interessante, porque fala de tudo que me interessa. Fala de teste, fala de Elastic, fala de cloud, observabilidade. E então eu estou bem ansioso e eu presumo que alguns de vocês também bem curiosos para ver o que a gente vai falar hoje. A apresentação vai ser em inglês, porque afinal o Manuel é espanhol, né? Ele não fala português. Mas qualquer dúvida que vocês tiverem, joguem no chat que a gente responde. Não vai ter problema. Se vocês tiverem dificuldade de entender alguma coisa, podem falar também. Acho que é uma oportunidade também para treinar aquele nosso inglês técnico que às vezes não é dos melhores. Eu mesmo tenho muito a ganhar nessa apresentação. Teve dúvidas? Joga lá no chat, daqui a pouco nós respondemos e vamos, ao final, né, vamos responder as perguntas e ver qual vai ser o resultado. Permita então apresentá-los, Manuel de la Peña.
Hello.
Hello, Manu.
Hello, Brazil. How are you doing? Good to meet you. And first of all, I'm super sorry. I screwed up with the calendar. I had a daily sync at my 5 p.m. At the same time at the meetup, and I was confused, and I thought that this meetup was at my 16, so I had this time. So sorry again. I hope that the meetup and the delay is worth it. So thank you for inviting me also.
My pleasure.
Hello to the Brazil community, Elastic community there.
So now I will leave you guys with Manuel to present itself with his own words and the content, of course, the presentation. Don't worry about the delay. We are all new with this kind of online events. I am having problems with that as well, in other events as well, so it's understandable. Now, with you guys, Manuel de la Peña. Please proceed, Manu.
Okay, so today I'm gonna present about how we are managing test plans in the observability team. Please let me know if I'm doing this so fast. It's my first international meetup, so please tell me if you have any question. Both Adam and Priscilla can read me your questions, or you whatever you need, just ping me or just comment it in the chat. Well, everybody knows about Elastic Stack. This is the Elastic meetup, so you will know about observability, which is the team that I work for. But we are not going to talk about observability. This talk will be something completely different, or maybe different to what you are used to. I would like to talk about software quality or engineering management, metrics and things that a team lead wants to gather from the development process. How can we use or how the way we are using it, we're using the Elastic Stack to gather this information. As Adam said, I'm working as a senior software engineer in the observability team. In the past, I worked with Adam in library, so that I'm super happy that I can connect to him again. And well, I've been working with software quality since joined my previous company, so around 10 years, working with test strategy, writing tests, automation, Jenkins, CI. So for us, it's really important storing this information, the test information in someplace, and checking or providing tools for the developers to get this information in an easy manner. So you're familiar with this test case management tools. There are a lot of them. Maybe there are hundreds of them. And when you are trying to bring this tool or this kind of tool to your team, you say, hey, which one? This is a proprietary, it's open source. Which one is best for us? Well, we don't have a strong opinion. You can use whatever you need, but in our teams, we would like to avoid this kind of things. Maybe you are familiar with tracking test plans. Oh, sorry. I lose one screen here. Maybe you don't want to use this cumbersome or maybe overkill test management application. Maybe you are familiar with spreadsheets. Everybody has created a spreadsheet with all the use cases, and this is passing, this is not passing, this feature is for this team. So, well, spreadsheets are very limited, and when you are talking software engineering, it's not the most accurate way to track things. Maybe for other people or other industries, it's really spread, but not for us. More things. Well, at the end of the day, we are working on GitHub. Do you like GitHub? We are all developers, and in Elastic, everything is on GitHub in public and private repositories. Even marketing uses GitHub. Everything is on GitHub. So we have teams there, and most of them, or all of them, use GitHub. Everything runs there, as I said. So we love it as a developer. But sometimes GitHub is not that great. You have hundreds of labels in a repo. It's super easy to miss something, to lose some information in the repo. So maybe finding the proper information is not there. Well, imagine that in the observability we have around 50 repositories, 50, and around 80 developers. So tracking all the information that they produce every day is super difficult, or the amount of data that we produce is really huge. So sometimes it's not that great working on GitHub for some things. But as I said, we love GitHub. Our teams are very focused. The team has a really high quality. The developers are really autonomous and expert. So we could consider that they are really mature in the development process. Another thing that we are promoting from our team, as I said, I work for the developer productivity team, which brings tooling and automation and try to make it easy to other teams. The easy part of the development process. We tend to promote a self-service culture, where every team doesn't need to be blocked by other teams. So they just have the tools, they have the knowledge, they have the information, and they self-organize. So we would like to also have, in terms of test plans, we would like to have each team to run the test plans instead of having another separate team for that. It's very common in the industry that having a separate QA team running the test plans or writing even the test, which in my opinion is an anti-pattern. So I would like to have the developers writing the automated test and running these test plans. So for us, this is something that is happening. We have developers and QA. They are the same person. So they run the test plan on their behalf. And I like this. I would like to, or I could say that I am the only one QA engineer in the team, but I'm not a QA engineer. I'm also a developer and engineer. So I try to facilitate them certain things like accessing dashboards or creating tools, but I want them to run the test plans. An engineering manager, a team lead is creating a list of use cases that they have to test for a new release, and based on that, the team self-organizes and runs the test plan. So, well, one thing that I would like to tell you is that this project, or this way of doing things, this framework, the running test plans on GitHub, is immature in our team. We started a few months ago, and we have some limitations, but we are in the process of improving it and adopting more and more things and improving the system. So I will let you know about the framework, which is based on GitHub labels, as you will see, and what is the technical implementation using the Elastic Stack, which is the Elastic meetup. So I would like to share with you how can we achieve this, because the GitHub part is really easy. So we have labels per team, and labels representing releases. And using this release, marking an issue or a pull request with a proper label and a team, we can track this as something that will be released in the next version of the product. As you know, Observability has the Bits platform, but we also work in Kibana, not in Elasticsearch that much, but also in Kibana. And many of the solutions that we build are using the Elastic Stack as core. So whenever a new feature comes to the product, the team lead or the team itself marks or adds these labels to the issue or the pull request. And if something is not needed to be tested, like something that is a technical task or something in the automation part, we just mark it as skip. We skip this issue or pull request from the test plan. There are teams that are using issues, and there are teams that are working with pull requests. So depending on what they need, we are flexible in that sense. How can we do this? So when somebody finishes a pull request, then he or she assign it, and the team lead, again, when the test plan is run, assign it to another team member. So we have another team, another peer that is running this test plan. And if the test plan is the expectation of the software is there, is passing, then we mark this pull request or issue as test plan okay. And if something did not work as expected, we create a regression. We create a new ticket with a bug, and we mark this previous pull request as test plan fail or test plan regression. So we can keep track of what didn't go that well. And it's an important metric for us because we would like to measure the rework, how many times we rework on the issues, on the features that we are creating. So for this rework, we create a new issue, we mark it again with the release and create the proper labels. And then this feature or this issue comes to the cycle and to the flow again with the same importance as in the past. We ensure that any other team member is the responsible of testing this thing, because it's really important for us not to test what you do. If you implement some new feature or a bug, or you fix a bug, you know what you did. So we would like to avoid this happy path that the implementer did. So how can we get more information about this? So I presented you how we track or we mark the issues and pull requests, or how can we query them? Okay, if we want to check how many issues are in a release, we use simply, for a team, we just filter by the label for the team and the person, removing those issues that were skipped. This is possible to be done on GitHub already. This is how the teams started using this feature, creating filters on GitHub, and some teams are still there. So it's super easy to translate to Elasticsearch, as you will see. More things. How can we get all things that are pending, that are not tested in this release? Well, we have the test plan OK label and test plan. And those issues that doesn't have this label or contains the test plan regression, they are not tested. So the developer will be able to come to the pool of the pool of issues and pick the one that he or she wants to work on. How can we count issues that were passing? Well, we are counting the test plan OK labels or the issues with this label, and that's great. As I said before, the team is really expert and we can trust them. This is not a team, or these teams are not people that could forget adding a label. We have a lot of automation in place, like whenever this directory is modified, then automatically add the team label for instance. So if the APM UI team works something in Kibana, which is a multi-repo, there are a lot of teams working on Kibana. If somebody modifies a file affecting the APM UI, automatically is added this team label for the APM team. More things. How can I count the times we rework it? Again, looking at the labels, test plan regression or test plan play for a release, and we have it. These are the teams that we are working on. Some of them are already enrolled in this new framework. APM server, APM UI, APM agents is kind of different because they don't follow the release lifecycle of the stack. But Metricbit, FileBit, Stack Monitoring, yes. And Kibana and Herbit is part of the Bit family, also follow this pattern. So yeah, we are the accelerated team at Elastic, so why not using the Elastic Stack? Everything is on GitHub. I know that GitHub uses Elasticsearch under the hood, so if they are doing this, why don't we use it? Well, you are, as I said, you are familiar with this stack. Bit family for monitoring, logging, etc. Logstash on ingesting data, Elasticsearch as a repository, and Kibana for presenting data. You're really familiar for this, so I won't bring any new to here. So because using this stack is good for us for these reasons. First is dogfooding. We are exercising the product that we are building. We are using Kibana, we are using Elasticsearch, we are using Logstash also. I will show you in the next slide. And we have people that are really familiar with Kibana because they are UI teams, so they are familiar working on Kibana. So creating dashboard for them could be just a matter of a minute or something. Give me the query, give me the aggregation, and I will create, or they will create the dashboard. And also, this is something that the main reason of this system to exist is that we are using GitHub as the source of truth in terms of information. Anything that happens on GitHub is automatically sent as event to our Elasticsearch. So as we collect everything, so whenever a developer adds a label, whenever a developer comments, whenever a developer close, open, review an issue or a pull request, automatically GitHub sends event to our service. It's an internal service for us, with the name is GitHub Stack, and we have everything there. And we have a really huge amount of data since last year, and we are able to query it using the stack. So this is the architecture of the system. We are running Kubernetes cluster where we deploy Logstash, and Logstash has 3 replicas with a persistent queuing with a PVC when some replica is down or we are in a rollout, to have a queue of data, so this data is not lost. This is a stateful set, and we define an ingress to be accessed from outside. These Logstash instances are configured with the GitHub input plugin, which is we need a GitHub token. So with this GitHub token, everything that is sent for a webhook, for instance, could be ingested into Elasticsearch, into Logstash, and Logstash sent to Elasticsearch. You will see that we have around 1,000 repositories under the Elastic organization. So it's not possible to do it manually, to go repository by repository, creating a webhook that sends something to the GitHub start service. We have an application, which is a webhook manager, that automatically. Oh, okay, thanks. This webhook is sending every event that happens on the GitHub repo. As I said, creating a label, creating a pull request, opening an issue, resolving the issue or the pull request. Automatically, an event is triggered and sent to an endpoint, and this endpoint is our ingress to the system. So GitHub is sending via webhook every event that happens on the repos to our cluster, to our system. So Logstash processes this information, this payload, this event, it's a JSON, and we perform some operations, mutate and prune some data because the payload is huge. We remove many fields that are not interested. I can provide you more information about those fields, and we mutate some of them just to create a normalized index. For instance, we instead of having issue.url, which a nested object, we create a field which is issue URL with dash. Yeah, so that's it. And then these Logstash are sending this information to a Elasticsearch cluster on Elastic Cloud, which is the SaaS version of Elastic. If you don't want to host this for yourself, you don't want to manage it, we offer this Elastic Cloud service, and then you have Elasticsearch, Kibana, also APM server for observability APM traces, and everything is managed by our team, by the Elastic. So here, this is the system, and you can see also we use Bit to monitor the endpoints. We are checking that the systems are up and running using Heartbeat. So the Kibana instance, the Elasticsearch cluster, and the Logstash replica are monitored by Heartbeat. And using Kibana, we can check the uptime. Uptime is an application under the observability solution that we are able to monitor if these services, what is the state of the service. So this is the system. Let's continue. So there are some, as I said, this is not mature yet. We are starting to not configure, but to understand more our needs and how the system can behave. So we have some limitations. So for us, one limitation is that as we are sending every event from GitHub to Elasticsearch, it's kind of a metric. So every 5 seconds, sending the CPU start, for instance. In this time, we are sending every time an event happens, then we index a document. So it's difficult for us to check the current state of a list of issues, for instance. Give me all the issues in the closed state. Well, we can achieve it because an open issue hopefully wouldn't be in that state, in the state closed. But if we change the query to give me all the issues that are still open, because we don't have the latest state, we have everything that happened to the life cycle of an issue, this query will return also the issues that happen to be in the open state. So it will return also the closed one. So this is something that we don't decide. But we are in conversation with the infra team and try to address this information, creating maybe a view or something for this. But this is not an impediment for us. We can continue creating dashboards, but there are certain queries that we cannot apply. And also an important thing is related to the teams. Each team has their own needs, so we have to sit down with them and define what metrics they want to measure. For instance, the lead time of a pull request. So how long, how much time a pull request was open. So we can measure, or we can calculate it from when a pull request was closed and when a pull request was open, right? And the difference, this lead time, could bring us more information about the development process. So going back to the test plans, I will, and just to finish this, I would like to show you some examples, some visualizations on Kibana. For instance, this is one for past release. We're able to check how many releases, how many issues are in the testable state, and we can create a visualization with a graph saying what is the ratio of open versus closed pull requests. So with the metrics, we are able to see this test plan metrics that I started, or the main goal of this tag was how many issues are pending, how many issues do we tested in this sprint or in this release. We can check that information here. Also, more information, we can create aggregations about what are the developers that create more pull requests or open more issues, things like that. So anything that an engineering manager, a team lead, is able to imagine, then it's possible to track them, because we have everything on Elasticsearch. So imagination is your power to create the proper query, aggregated query, and the visualization on top of that. This is something also for another team, the APM UI team. So they work with pull requests. APM server works with issues. APM UI works with pull requests. So we can check how many pull requests are still there in process. And I like this dashboard because it's a dashboard for my performance, with everything that I did on GitHub in the last year. So I'm able to see in which repos I work the most, in which with the user that creates more issues, on what are the labels that I use the most, things like that. So as I said, imagination is the limit. More things, if your team is providing templates, GitHub templates for your teams, or the teams each team has GitHub templates to provide more information or more context when creating a pull request. Oh, sorry, I didn't understand that. Maybe Adam can translate it to me. So if you are using GitHub templates, you are able to create a visualization saying, oh, people are using the template or not using the template. And you can decide if you want to remove the template or enhance it based on numbers, not based on feelings. And this is something really important for us as a productivity team, that we would like to add productivity to the team. So I think that's all. I did it super fast because I was really worried about the time and really knowing that it's early for your time. And thank you. If you have any question, I'm here. Adam, Priscilla can be a translator here. Last question, legal dashboard. I could translate that I need to study Kibana more. That's right.
Indeed.
And you are I totally agree with you. As I said, I work in I kind of work in a DevOps world. So I'm not a UI engineer and I don't work with Kibana. So I'm sorry the dashboard is not accurate, but I'm doing my best there. It's a best effort.
I mean, I need to learn more about Kibana. For example, didn't know about this cloud of terms view. I use Kibana in a very low level, so to say.
Yeah, it's a really powerful application, and you can do many things from that.
Well, we're checking questions here. I personally do have a question for you. That is, you guys cannot get a lot of the status of a pull request from the data you have right now indexed in a easy way.
The question is, could you repeat it? So it's not possible to get the latest status of a pull request or an issue. Yeah. Yes, well, this is something that is important to play with the aggregations of Elasticsearch queries and aggregations. And I was looking at the what is the name, top hits aggregation, and it was not possible because at the end of the day it counted also I can get the latest state of a pull request. I can get it, but when I create a metric or a table with all the issues that in different states, like give me everything that is in open or closed, then it's not able to create the distinction.
I see. Actually, you answered my second question. That is, if there isn't any kind of aggregation that could help, and you say that you guys are investigating the top hits right now.
Yes, the top hits. The top hits. You can use the top hit, define a field, and in that field order. So I use the top hits. I use the timestamp of the document, indexed document, ordered descendingly. So I could get the latest one. That I can get the latest state of one issue or a bunch of issues. But whenever I want to compare open versus closed, then it's not possible. And if we use, I can get one visualization for the open one and one for the closed one. But when I put this visualization into a dashboard and I filter using the same query for both dashboards, then I get this problem. But as I said, it's a limitation, and the team is working on creating, maybe not sending every event, or from time to time create a scheduled process, getting the latest state for everything, things like that. But so we are in the process of improving that, because it's something that we are aware of it. We would like to improve it because we see a lot of value in using Elasticsearch as the repository for the state of the development process.
I see. That's quite fascinating. It remembers some problems I'm having myself. But anyway, we got a question here. Marcus asked if we have a public GitHub repository with some of that magic you guys built here for this, or it's something private for Elastic? Because it would be very nice to learn a bit of that.
Well, it's public. Sorry, it's private. Here, I will provide the slides. Adam, I will send you. Please give me the format. No, let me. Sorry. Here you have the link. There is a blog post, not a blog post, a discuss entry with this architecture. So if you want to replicate it on your behalf, it's possible to do it. I will send you a PDF or the slides in whatever format that you need, Adam. So you will be able to reproduce this. There is no external, I mean, everything is configuration. There is no code here. So just configuring the webhook, configuring GitHub plugin. Well, there is code because everything is infrastructure as code. We are managing the Kubernetes, the instances, everything with code. But this is a private service. But as I said, you will be able to create this on your own with in a super easy manner. Maybe the part that is more difficult could be the webhook manager. If you have a lot of repos, doing that manually could be painful. So we created this tool, which is not open source, it's private, as far as I know. I'm not the maintainer of none of these tools, but well, maybe I can say maybe the mutate or prune rules in the Logstash plugin could be, if the Logstash input could be shared, because I don't see any that is private or sensible there. So how can we define the field that we are sending to Elasticsearch? Yeah, so I'm sorry, this is not public, but as I said, this is totally using different pieces and putting it all together.
That's quite nice. That's kind of answer another question, that is, you guys don't, you here at Elastic are using some application in the middle of all this pipeline to message the data. I mean, you get raw data with Logstash and put it in Elasticsearch. There is no, there's not a lot of preprocessing, a specific node for preprocessing, for example.
Well, the pre-processing is done by Logstash. So we get the payload from GitHub, and then we remove all the fields that we don't want. Maybe it's possible to create different calculations. I'm not a Logstash expert, so please tell me something on the chat that I need to study it more. But yeah, if you add a piece before Logstash or after Logstash and then send it to Elasticsearch, that's totally possible. It's just piping the different parts of the data. Data pipe to Elasticsearch, pipe to Elasticsearch. So you have some piece that does this preprocessing. I think it's totally doable.
I see. That makes sense. That's impressive, because it's a lot of. I don't deal with Logstash usually, and to get to this point, I guess it should be very powerful to process the data. And I'm very curious to learn more about it.
Yes, before joining Elastic, I thought that Logstash was kind of old, but I have realized that this is a really powerful tool to ingest data. It's able to do this a lot of processing and even forwarding information to different systems like a Kafka or Elastic or a database. Even reading for a database is super easy. So imagine that you have a database with a relational model. You are able to create a query, and automatically Logstash will read this query and convert it, and you are mimicking or replicating your database into Elasticsearch, and that's great. So Logstash is super powerful. And also the bits family. Here I only mentioned Herbit, but you have FileBit to tail logs from more of the more well-known system like Apache Server, Nginx, databases, etc. Also MetricBit to get metrics. I didn't mention here, but we are running MetricBit here to get metrics from the Kubernetes clusters and sending also to Elasticsearch. So we are able to infer or observe information about the status of this cluster reading this metric. So here, as you see, we are connecting observability with DevOps, with engineering management and quality, everything all together. Also infrastructure.
Nice. I guess those are the questions. Let's just check if there is another one here. I guess these are the last question. I have to say that I am very, if you get at least that GitHub input plugin available for external people to read and so on, I really want to learn about that. So ping me if that's the case.
Yeah, that's an open source plugin. So you can install in your instance. It's open source.
Oh, really? Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, yes. Let me. I don't know if I can post something to the chat.
You can, if you have the link, that's okay. If you don't have it right now, you can send me later. I will post on the meetup post, and everybody that's interested will see there as well.
will send you through Telegram.
As you prefer. That's perfect. You can post in the chat as well too if you have it.
Oh yes, that would be great.
I will document it. And there is still one last request. I almost missed it. That from Marcio. Marcio asked us if it would be possible to share the slide presentation later. So you can send it later. I will share with our community here. I will be waiting for that later then.
Yes, I will send you a PDF or whatever.
Perfect. So I guess that's it. No more questions. I really want to thank you, Manu, for your time and your patience. It was kind of a struggle to make this presentation because the first time we are dealing with online presentation are hard by itself. Just one international one is a new challenge, but it was amazing. I got a lot of private feedback here that it was cool. It's very, very impressive. And
I'm sorry that I was late, so please forgive me. I'm reading some of the comments here in the chat or trying to get that people say that the horario is great. So for me, it's great too.
Yes, that's a very nice. That's a very nice discovery for me because I thought this time was not very great. But I got a lot of good feedback from it. So we're going to make more things like this. I'm going to ask people from compatible time zones. It's very good to learn that.
Yes, I was worried that the attendance were going to be low because of that, but I'm happy that people is able to do that during time work. So during working time. So I'm great.
Yes.
That's great.
That's perfect. So I will finish here because I guess Manuel also may be a bit tired. I am tired and a bit hungry as well.
Well, so with this COVID thing, I'm working in American time zone. So I started a few hours ago, and I'm working in my afternoons just to carry the care of the baby. So yes,
sure.
I hope that you all are safe in Brazil. I read the news, and I have a very good friend there in Brazil. So I hope you all are safe. Be safe because it's really important.
Yes, we are doing what we can.
Yeah.
Thank you for your thoughts. So that's it. I will just finish in Portuguese for the community here. Quero agradecer a todos que estão presentes agora. Muito obrigado pela participação. Espero que tenham aprendido bastante. Foi uma apresentação bem interessante para mim. Eu sou desenvolvedor, não trabalho muito com infraestrutura, então achei muito fascinante, e espero que tenha sido fascinante para os outros também. Vamos ter mais eventos. Estamos planejando um outro evento com outro desenvolvedor da Elastic, que também é de outro país. Se gostaram desse, deixem um feedback que a gente já organiza o outro e feedback de como podemos melhorar também. Muito obrigado a todos. Além desses eventos com outros engenheiros da Elastic, nós teremos em breve eventos sobre o uso o APM com a Elastic Stack. O Marco, que é um dos organizadores aqui do Meetup de Brasília, já está preparando a apresentação. Acredito que semana que vem já devemos ter, deve ser bem fascinante. O último foi maravilhoso. Então, pessoal da comunidade, fiquem juntos conosco que em breve temos mais. Tchau para vocês, obrigado a quem assistiu. Obrigado, Manu. Obrigado, Priscila, pela ajuda. E até a próxima, pessoal. Tchau.